Hey, folks, and welcome to Making Moves. It's another great week, and looks like I am going to be flying solo today. So, hope you guys are doing well, and hope things are going well for you so far in 2024. Speaking of 2024, uh, been a crazy, crazy start to the year. My man Tim Vitale, he and his wife had a beautiful baby girl earlier this year, which is one of the reasons he's not here today. So was thinking he might be back this week, but he's had some things pop up. So it's just me flying solo today. Hopefully he'll get back soon and share a story about how you know the pregnancy went and everything went with he and his wife and the new baby girl. So we'll wait to share that when he's around to tell us all about it. So anyway, folks, so I wanted Tim and I to kind of talk about like last year and this year, where we went last year, where we're going this year. Um, so I kind of wanted to stick along those lines a little bit, if that's cool with you guys. So if you guys are up for it, let's go that route. Um, so in 2023, we had a lot of changes. We had a lot of growth for the year. Ended up ended up starting a property management company, which is not something we had on the radar in 2023, which just kind of shows how things can adjust and goals change. Um, we'd originally planned on just staying with third party property management, but some things came up during the year, decided it was time to make that move. And so we launched Vive Property Management. Took over a couple of the properties that we already owned, actually four, two in Walterboro, South Carolina, one in Georgetown, South Carolina, and one in Raleigh. Um, and then throughout the year, as we acquired new properties, we rolled them under the Vive umbrella. That included 88 units in Greenwood, South Carolina. We then ended up rolling 200 plus units in Gulfport, Mississippi, that we acquired under the Vive umbrella. We did have a small purchase that we didn't roll under Vive. It was in the Charlotte MSA, and we ended up keeping that with third party, just because Charlotte's not an area that we're actively looking to deploy our own property management anytime soon. It's right in my backyard. We have a good relationship with the property manager here in the area, so we're able to keep a pretty good and close eye on that. So not something that we're looking to take over anytime soon, if at all. So what we're actively working on is looking back into 2023, our growth strategy for our property management business was take over those properties, and then anything new that we acquire, not in the Charlotte area, we'll deploy our own property management company on. So far, that's been a pretty good strategy. We've been able to roll out to a number of new markets. I mentioned Mississippi. We're expanding down in the Gulfport area pretty aggressively. We'll wrap that expansion up here probably around April of this year, um, and then focus more on the Carolinas again. We wanted to focus strategically on that Gulfport area for a few months. There's a lot of growth happening down there. Over $13 billion in government and private sector investment in the area. A lot of naval shipbuilding going on down there. Obviously, the space industry down in that region with Huntsville and then Mobile, so close by. There's a lot of like space industry and private companies coming in down there to support that industry. So there's a lot of positive signs in the area. Not to mention cost basis is extremely attractive in that area. The one thing that's not so attractive down there right now, and you've heard us talk about this before, is insurance. The insurance rates down there are very, very high. $2,000 a unit's not unheard of. If you can get 1,700 a unit, you're doing pretty good right now. So but the good news there is, and I think you've heard Tim and I mention this before, is if you can make deals work at those insurance costs, when they come down, and they will come down, um, your deal's going to do even better. So when we underwrite to that 2,000 a unit price. We increase it over the life of the deal. So if we ever get any relief in the insurance side, and it does come down to 1,700 a unit, even 1,500 a unit, even better. If it comes down to those rates again, then we're going to be doing extremely well. Deals are already good as they are. They'll just be that much better if we do that. So that's something that we've been working on. In 2023, we were able to grow our portfolio by about 500 units, just under 500 units for the year, which was a pretty strong year. This year, we're looking at least that number, probably somewhere between 500 and 700 units that we're going to grow our portfolio this year. Again, first quarter of 2024 focused in that Mississippi region, and out in Alabama. And then we're going to be focused heavily on the North and South Carolina areas, headed into Q2, Q3, and Q4. So why is this, a part of our plan? Biggest reason for us is because it's where we've built our pipeline. We have focused heavily on North and South Carolina, a little bit on Georgia, strong focus on the Carolinas. And then as, one of the very first deals I ever did was down in Alabama. One of the very first deals Vitaly and I ever did was down in Alabama. So we've had a little bit of a presence down there before. So we have a bit of a pipeline down there. And then about middle of 2023, the opportunity presented itself for us to expand into the Gulfport, Mississippi region, which if you know that area, it's not far from Mobile, Alabama, about 45, 50 minutes in a car. So not bad at all. We were already down there with our Mobile properties. And, we decided just to move on over into that area as well. The cost basis was great. The cash flow is strong. The opportunity with the investment is very, very good. It checks all the boxes other than insurance, which we talked about. So as we head into 24, we're going to be expanding our Vive property management umbrella pretty aggressively. Like I said, somewhere between 500 and 700 units added to the portfolio. We expect every one of those to fall under Vive property management, which would bring our total assets under Vive property management to about 1,200 units, I believe, if we do this 700. So 1,200 units under, a company that's basically a year and a half old by the end of this year. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Vive Property Management as of today currently has about 14 employees. I think we're at 12. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be adding 2 more. So we'll be at 14 employees, for a company that started from 0 in May of 2023. So we've expanded aggressively. We truly have. So I kind of wanted to talk about how have we done this? Honestly, it's from being in rooms. I've been doing the real estate stuff a long time. A lot of you guys know that. Land flips, single family flips, you name it. And one of the things I learned back in 08 and 09 was that I really should have had somebody in my corner, somebody more experienced than me in my corner. So, when I started doing this and I decided to take this very seriously. It's exactly what I did. Is the first thing I did is I started looking for somebody to be in my corner. I got out on the Bigger Pockets forum, started seeing who was talking, what they were talking about, who sounded like they knew what they were talking about. I narrowed it down to like 3 guys. Then I narrowed it down to 2 and went out there and started tracking them. I really started digging into their background. I started, looking to see if they were doing what they said they did. I even started searching their LLCs, looking for their properties, seeing, if they actually owned them. And that's how I landed. I I've said this many times. That's how I landed on Mike Ely as one of the first guys that I ever, worked with, partnered with. The first guy I reached out to about being a mentor. And it paid dividends, honestly, guys. It paid off in a big way. I would not be where I am right now with 1,800 units owned, you know, my own property management company expanding to 1,200 under my own in-house property management group, and then 20 north of 2,000 units owned, but before the end of this year, I wouldn't have gotten there without guys like Mike, and other mentors that I've partnered with and reached out to. Um, and that includes joining a community like GoBundance. That community has been very influential. There's a whole group of guys there that I can reach out to and ask questions to. I meet with a group of 4 other guys every Friday morning at 9 a.m. We share personal stuff, we share family stuff, and we talk business quite a bit. When I'm struggling with something and not real sure which path to take, or that I'm very, very certain of which path to take, but looking for a little bit of sanity check, I share it with those guys. And there's guys in the room that have had way more experience than me. Went down to the Lake Oconee event in Georgia this past year and was able to sit and talk to a bunch of guys down there who have been doing this way longer than I have. Some guys less time than me, but way more successful than me. And I was able to, really ping some ideas off of them, really get some ideas, really kind of throw some scenarios at them that I wasn't sure about and get feedback. And some of that feedback, honestly, guys, was, "You're crazy. Don't do that." And that's the kind of stuff that I want, that I need, and that has really allowed Vitaly and myself to scale this portfolio in an incredibly fast way. There is a little bit of scaling fast that can be a little intimidating. I'm pretty aggressive. I don't tend to say no to good opportunities, even if I have a lot on my plate already. I have a lot of people in my corner that ask me to slow down. I don't tend to listen to that. I tend to say, I can build teams, I can build processes. I'm taking it on. I've worked my tail off to build opportunity, and when it's here, I'm going to take it. And so it's important for me to have people in my corner to help me scale and take advantage of that opportunity and take it on. And that's what these groups do. And you guys see me post about get in the room, get in the room, get in the room. And that's part of the reason why. For me, it's been critical. It's been huge. We have a guy in our Making Moves community, David Moody. David, man, complete baller lately. For the last year or so, he has been making some serious moves. And he's closing on multiple properties. He's already closed, I think, on 2 this year in 2024. And we're a month in. He met a partner in the group. And they're just rocking and rolling, guys. And Dave even posted recently that some of that's due to the group they're in, to being in the room. Last week we talked on the show with Nicole, and Nicole is in our Making Moves community as well, and she's killing it. Not as much in the multifamily space on a personal level. She partners with Vitaly and me on some things, but she's killing it in the STR space. And man, it's awesome to see her grow the way she has. And then, guys like Dennis Polson, who we'll have on here in a couple of weeks. Anthony, Drew, you guys are all crushing it. It's great to see them expanding and growing the way they have. And then, outside the Making Moves community, like guys that I meet through Mike's world, they're doing a great job as well. And guys, I chalk that up all the time to being in the rooms, connecting with people, growing your network. Today I posted something that was called "Where You Learn is Where You Earn," and I can't agree more with that. I posted it for a reason. And, I've learned a ton from connecting with these guys. I've learned a ton from guys like Drew and Dennis and Nicole and Sean and David that have all come into making moves. Um, I've learned from them. So, guys, like if you're questioning how to have success in 2024, if you're not sure, find a group, be part of a group, whether it's making moves or some other group. Find one that fits you and get in there. Because this is supposed to be a look back at 23 and a look forward at 24. And one of the things I would say is, as I look back at 23 and I look forward at 24, I know I couldn't have done what I did in 23 without these rooms, without these groups, without these mentors. And I know that I would not be successful and would probably fall flat on my face in 2024 if I didn't have access to those rooms. Being able to call Mike whenever I want, being able to, come to the weekly meetings and making moves and talk to folks about what we're doing, talk to folks about what we're thinking. It's a sanity check and it's a check-in for, our ideas and where we're looking to deploy. It's been hugely beneficial. So what are we looking to do in 2024? I think I hit on that a little bit. We're looking to deploy heavily into the Carolinas after we wrap up our Mississippi portfolio. And who knows where we expand beyond that. Those are our goals for right now. We'll probably look into Tennessee and look at expanding in Georgia some. We're also going to be dispositioning some properties in 2024. We've currently got 2 out on the market, kind of on the market. They're being soft pitched off market to, an internal buyer base for some of our broker connections and then some of our own groups as well. So we'll be dispositioning some properties, wrapping up some partnerships, because people who came into multifamily in the last few years have decided either that's not for them, or they're wanting to pivot into other partnerships, or they're wanting to pivot into short-term rentals, or they're wanting to pivot into flex industrial, you name it, which is always an option. I mean, me myself, land flips, single family, multifamily. There's many a times when we all pivot, right? So we'll be wrapping up some of those things in 2024. We'll be selling off some of our smaller assets, which is like a natural growth pattern, guys. Like you'll see guys start with 4 units, 5 units, 10 units, 12, move into 30 plus space, 50 plus units. So we'll be wrapping up some of our, 20 unit properties, some of our 30 unit properties. We'll be dispositioning some of those. And then we'll be looking to do more JVs as well. We're absolutely going to be running syndications. Had a post yesterday, or today actually, about JVs versus syndications, which ones we do. And the answer is yes. We do both. So we will be doing more JVs than we have in the past, simply because we can. As we've built net worth within the group, within our core partnership team, we'll be doing more JVs on some smaller assets, but we'll continue to do syndications as well. And quite frankly, our syndication size is growing. Right, we've gone from syndicating 24 unit properties, 32 unit properties, to JVing 24 and 30 and 50 unit properties, and now we're syndicating 60 unit properties, 80 unit properties, 128 unit properties. So we're syndicating much larger deals. I think at the end of 2023, we syndicated a $17.8 million portfolio. That was one of mine and Tim's largest syndications to date, just the 2 of us. So that was a really big deal. And then we'll have a couple of things coming up here soon that we're excited to announce that I think is going to surprise a few people in terms of the deal size that we're doing. And then, we're currently working on a very large portfolio, looking across about 40 potential properties. right now that we want to try to close on a portion of those in the first 2 quarters of 2024. Um, so that's kind of where we're headed in 2024. We're going to be doing some refinances. Hey, I know bridge debt's a bad word in a lot of circles. We've managed through a lot of it pretty well, and we're going to be refinancing some of our bridge loans into stabilized longer term loans. We'll be utilizing some agency financing. And guys, like that's something else that's been very critical about being in the rooms is making those agency connections, making those broker connections for lending and properties. We've initiated a lot of that from our network, from being in the rooms and tapping that network for those connections. Like in fact, a lot of the agency debt that we're going to be securing came through a really good mentor connection of ours. So that's been critical as well. So hey guys, as you're looking at 2024, I really encourage you, if you haven't already, find a group, get in a group. Again, whether it's making moves or somebody else, I'm not pitching you on making moves here. I'm just really encouraging you, if you want to make it happen, make it work, make moves in 2024, find a mentor, get in a room, leverage them like crazy, man. They are not kidding when they say your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth, whichever way it goes. It is 100% true. So guys, get out there, find it, and make those moves, guys. And then lastly, where we think we'll end up in 2024. I think I told you somewhere between 500 and 700 units purchased. We plan on adding at least that many, maybe more. And that'll put us over 2,000 units under management. It'll put us 1,200 in-house managed. And then again, we'll be dispositioning some assets as well. And guys, listen, one last thing. When we're out there looking for things, sometimes we find stuff that is either doesn't fit our wheelhouse, doesn't fit our buy box, or we're just too busy already doing something. Tim and I are very, very conscious about not overcommitting. Like, I'm very aggressive and I'll sign up for everything I can, but I am conscious about making sure I can perform on what I sign up on. So every now and then, when we've already got 300 units under contract like we do right now, we will, if something needs to close in that period of time, that same time period, we'll often refer those off to people we know. So guys, like, that's another benefit of being in the room in a community, is people come across things that don't work for them, or it's just not the right time, and they'll say, hey, I got a 30 unit in Charleston, South Carolina. Who's interested? Who can do it? Who can raise? I can't. I'll be happy to introduce you to the seller or the broker or whatever. In fact, I had a conversation yesterday. A little bit different scenario. I don't do Missouri, but a very, very strong deal in Missouri was put in front of me, and I was like, it's just not my thing. Not looking to expand there, but I know guys in the area. So I connected two guys to that deal, and it may happen for them. So that's another reason to really reach out and expand that network however possible, and find folks that can help you do your thing. So guys, that's just me kind of rambling and talking about 23, 24. Don't know that was really all that connected. Hope it is. But as you're going forward this year, really, really think about what your goals are and who can help you accomplish those. And then reach out and start connecting with them. Tim and I are always here, so reach out to us. Let us know if you need something. And then, looking forward to checking in with you guys as the year goes on and seeing how you're doing. So take care. See you next week, and get out there and make some move, folks.